Welcome to the Two Chicks Homestead Podcast. I'm Nate.
And I'm Erin, and we are going to talk about homesteading and living on a small piece of land.
All right, well, before we get started on that, why don't we talk about what we're drinking? I have a little bit of salted caramel flavored whiskey from Tennessee Legend and some holler roast coffee.
I have the same coffee, but I have peanut butter cup flavored whiskey.
Ooh, that sounds delicious.
It is delicious.
All right, so let's move on from there. Next up, Erin, why is it called the Two Chicks Homestead Podcast?
Well, as you can tell, we are not the two chicks. When we started homeschooling, I named it that because we have chickens and we have two little girls, and I kept calling them our two little chicks. And so it just kind of came off from there, not knowing that we would be doing all of the things with this name. So it just kind of stuck.
Well, that makes sense.
Why don't you tell us about yourself?
I grew up as a city kid, never really lived out in the country. How about you?
Same thing, just a small town closer to the city, but was always interested in gardening and all of this now that I know that it's called homesteading stuff.
Yep, same here.
So why are we doing this podcast?
We have about a half acre here, and it's, pretty small chunk of land.
But we back up to about 400 acres of farmland, so it does feel pretty open.
Right, absolutely. It definitely feels open in the backyard. We have a 100-year-old farmhouse here, and, it needs a little bit of work, but it's definitely our style. It's better than living in the city.
Yep, we moved out here about 4 years ago. We started in apartments and went to a townhouse and an HOA and started with having tomatoes hidden behind bushes because we couldn't have them there, to now having, I don't even know, how big is the garden?
10 feet by 60 feet long is our garden.
And we started with, second house had, a 10 by...
4 by 8. Yeah, 4 by 8 raised bed with concrete blocks. It's the pre-mixed purchased soil that you get at the store.
We bought really expensive soil.
Yeah.
And now we have rabbits that give it to us for free.
Exactly. And chickens. Can't forget about the chickens. That's pretty good compost. You just got to let it sit a little while longer than the rabbits.
Yep. And now we have two kids that can help us kind of throw it on the garden a little bit.
Absolutely. They do a lot of help. They enjoy being here. So what's next, Aaron?
We started out in apartments, always had little container gardens, went to an HOA, went to another house that we ended up leaving because the city was kind of scary. It was a little bit too close to the city. So my brother moved out to this farm town that we had never heard of, came out, drove around, and probably first thought it was a dump. And then kind of came out and visited and seen what they were doing, and my sister-in-law found this house for sale, and we came out and knew it was ours.
Absolutely. Our neighbors that we have here are really nice. They help us with some stuff here and there. We have, pretty decent sized lot here. We have about a half of an acre, and then back up to the 400 in the back, and it's just, it's definitely worth it.
Yeah, our neighbor is where we can forage, do our elderberries, and we get our mulberries and
fishing.
Yep, that's our extra space that makes it feel like we live in a bubble.
Yep.
In Illinois, which is hard to do.
Absolutely. It is not easy living in this state, and we get it. Well, thank you everyone for joining us on our journey as we begin this. It's definitely going to be a fun ride, and we hope to have you guys hang out and see how we do this. But for now, you can find us
at Two Chicks Homestead on Float and Facebook.
All right. Well, that certainly works. So we will catch you guys on the next episode, and have a good day.
See you on the homestead, where something is always growing, eating, or cooking.